Josh's biggest fear, a coin toss.
Ask Josh if he's ever seen one of these. Josh, have you ever seen one of these? Do you know what that is?
From one of the most damaging losses in playoff history.
If you walk into the Buffalo Bill locker room right now and you see Josh Allen, what would you say to him after what you just saw and the fact that they didn't win?
Well, I think he doesn't want any words of encouragement right now, I think, or anything. He's devastated. Jim said it on air. He said they thought they won the game.
To arguments with the star receiver as their season ended.
Everything's on camera.
Yeah.
So we see you and Josh on the sidelines. But looking back on it, what should we know about that moment where you had words with him?
It was just a that season that kind of like shook out the way it did. I feel like the first 9 weeks we had a kind of like a formula, like a recipe for winning, and we kind of got away from it on the back end. It was just some crucial moments in the year that like late in the season, late in the fourth quarter, it was opportunities that we didn't take advantage of. That last series or that last play, when you saw frustration, it wasn't necessarily just that play, but those moments built up to it.
Allen has seen tough times in the postseason, but a championship ring would erase all these memories and define his legacy.
There's so much more emphasis on winning championships as the ultimate arbiter of greatness. That didn't used to be what it is now, and the fact that Josh Allen hasn't been able to get past Patrick Mahomes is held against him.
The fact that Josh Allen hasn't been able to get past Patrick Mahomes is held against him.
Sweeter still would be a run that includes a victory over his football arch nemesis. But how realistic is this?
All I'm saying is this. I think Josh Allen is amazing. Josh Allen hasn't done what it's taken to get his team to the ultimate goal. And at some point, we have to be able to say that.
Welcome back to Unlikely Success. Like, comment, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Today we're exploring whether Josh Allen can actually beat that dude in Kansas City and how it could impact his legacy. First, let's talk about a few instances of being the quote, other guy in your era. It's a major accomplishment for sure, but it also carries a stigma. John Elway never beat Montana in the playoffs, and he got his butt kicked in 3 Super Bowls, before finally winning a ring 14 years into his career. Peyton Manning actually beat Brady 3 out of 4 times in the AFC Championship, but he's still largely overshadowed by Tom. Peyton won 2 rings, but Brady has 7. Great quarterbacks like Dan Marino, Phillip Rivers, and Matt Ryan were never able to capture a Super Bowl victory, and fans will never let them live it down. With that being said, is Josh going to become the, quote, other guy to Patrick Mahomes?
I don't know.
He is playing in the deepest time ever for quarterbacks, and is being dominated by what could become the greatest ever. Allen has had 2 late-game leads against Mahomes, and been unable to hold on for the victory. He lost to Burrow in stunning fashion, resulting in that previously mentioned argument with Stephon Diggs. And now his team appears to be losing prominent players from the playoff runs, and attempting to rebuild in real time around their superstar quarterback. Josh plays like an accurate passing version of Cam Newton. He's dangerous. He has 4 straight 4,000-yard seasons, 5 straight winning records, but the conversation is growing louder every year that he cannot beat Mahomes and that the Buffalo Bills window is closing.
I think a lot of people think that they are absolutely not winning the division this year.
What they have done in Buffalo, because we talking Stephon Diggs, they have lost almost everybody on the defensive side of the ball. And you got your linebacker coming back off of an ACL, a leg injury. Who knows what Milano's going to look like? They just had so many setbacks. I do think Josh will play well, but when you talk about a Super Bowl caliber team, the Buffalo Bills are not that caliber team no more. To be honest with you, when you talk about teams that I feel like have a better shot to get there is Lamar Jackson, is Jordan Love, is Jared Goff. It's so many more quarterbacks that teams are built better to go chase this championship. And I think one of those guys will end up getting it eventually before Josh Allen.
In an offseason that saw Buffalo's best wide receiver from the last 5 years get traded, an impactful corner leave, and questions continue to swirl around their coaching, it leads to a legitimate question. Is Buffalo positioned to compete for a championship this year, or even in the coming years? In short, yes. When you have a top 5 quarterback, you have a chance. Josh Allen is a great running quarterback and an effective passer, but he has legitimate lapses in judgment at the end of games, especially big ones.
Most still view Allen as like the guy they would take even behind Patrick Mahomes, or even there are a few that would take him before Patrick Mahomes. But there is that fatigue right now. It's like enough is enough with the turnovers. What is he going into, year 7?
Allen has played with one exceptional skill player over the past few years, and while Diggs has played well for the team, they continued winning even as he faded. Allen is a good enough quarterback to keep the team in contention, but beating Kansas City will require serious development of the Bills' offensive skill positions. Kansas City is a back-to-back champ, and other contenders are definitely lurking. He is not playing the AFC East from the first 20 years of the 2000s, and will have to overcome strong competition in both the AFC North and the AFC West. In order for him to be considered a true great, though, he will have to decode his division, overcome all other contenders, and finally, beat the Chiefs. Let's talk about that piece a bit. Sports and curses go hand in hand, and the back-breaking loss lead with 13 seconds left may become Buffalo's Kansas City curse.
What's happening is, guess what? Josh Allen has played Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, right? As many times as he's played him in the playoffs, but he's beat him every time in the regular season. What's happened when all the cards been on the table? When Josh Allen has the football in his hands, for some reason, we get to come in here every time they meet in the playoffs and say, well, Josh didn't or Patrick did. That's what football comes down to. Football comes down to doing, not trying. Football comes down to the greatest moments, not the moments that add up on the stat sheet. Josh Allen had some plays last night that wowed you. What we needed him to do is not make the play that wowed, but the play that won. And he didn't do it.
Buffalo has a rabid fan base, storied history, and beating Kansas City along the path to winning the team's first Super Bowl would be epic. A path without beating the Chiefs will be celebrated, for sure, but it would leave an open-ended question. If the Bills were to go through KC on their way to a Super Bowl victory, well, then Josh would become a folk hero. He would become the face of Buffalo. He would become an unquestioned legend, synonymous with upper state New York. All he has to do is overcome one quarterback in the playoffs and lead his team to a championship. Simple, right?
If we look at what Josh Allen has been in the playoffs, this dude is a demon. Okay, in 2020, when they went, I believe, to the AFC title game, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. 2021, which was that historic game against Kansas City, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. They get beat by Cincy last year for reasons way bigger than Josh Allen. We are not expecting Josh Allen to be successful. We're expecting him to be one of the 2 or 3 best players in the league, certainly at the quarterback position. But when we get into December and January football games, you unleash this dude.
If I'm going up against a dude, if I play your position and you are a 2-time champion, you've been to 3 Super Bowls, you're universally recognized as arguably the greatest ever. My greatest performance was against you in a 42-36 playoff loss at Arrowhead Stadium. You've been salivating for the opportunity to go against him. You waited 2 years. Not only do you have him, but you have him on your home turf. Bills Mafia is in the house. Everybody waiting for days. They're shoveling the snow. They ain't hiring people. People volunteered to shovel the snow out of the damn stadium so they could be up in the house. Everybody waited for this. You can't sit up there and say, well, you know what? It's being held against you that you're not him. The objective is to be him, if not better. An 0-4 record against Mahomes and Joe Burrow in the playoffs is not a good thing.
This has been The Unlikely Success.